And you'll find in this production that there are many, many different shoes on the stage, types of shoes, boots, heels, point shoes. So it's reflective in the story, isn't it?
Also die Spitzenschuhe werden gekauft vom Ausland, aber solche Stiefel, die zum Kostüm passen und die der Wunsch der Choreograf entspricht, sowohl wie der Kostümdesigner, solche Stiefel sind hier angefertigt worden. Das sind verschiedene Materialien hier, Leder und ein weicherer Stoff. Und das muss gemessert werden. Also der Tänzer gibt seine Messungen, Wade zum Beispiel hier, Knöchel und natürlich Größe, Breite von die Zehen und Länge. Es ist alles Millimeter, damit der Tänzer einen bequemen Stiefel bekommt. Also diese Stiefel wurde im Haus hier angefertigt bei der Schuhmacher.
As dancers, we grow up preparing dance shoes. So I think that it is interesting that this ballet is based on a shoe. It's kind of perfect, isn't it? In this production, Cinderella's point shoes she wears in the first and third act are the color of her skin. That tells you a little bit of how she's treated. She's barefoot, basically, having to, clean a house constantly. So it's shown that she is less than within that household. But when she goes to the ball, she has it's a very sparkly gold shoe. And unlike the glass slipper, this is more of the Grimm's version of the gold slipper.
You want the C or the B? Try that, I think it's too bright. Wir haben Spitzenschuh aus England, Italien, aus Russland. So that's the C. Maybe you can compare 2 feet.
Yeah, but you see, already the shape from the side is much better.
Yes, if it's the proper size. Manche mögen harte Spitzenschuhe, manche mögen weiche. Also es gibt eine große Auswahl und jede findet seine eigenen Schuhe. Meistens wollen die Tänzerin, dass die Spitzenschuh so lang wie möglich hält. Weil wir müssen die Bänder nähen, die Gummis. Also das ist schon eine Menge Arbeit, bevor man überhaupt mit dem Spitzenschuh tanzt. Und das passt sich jede Tänzerin an. Es ist so ein individueller Arbeitsprozess, diese Spitzenschuh für seine Füße zu kreieren.
In the Disney, what we all know, she's a little airheaded, a little in the clouds. What is really special about this production, specifically to Chris Wheeldon, is that I don't see her so much as a weak or overly obedient. So she knows what life could be like, but she also wants to just get by and she doesn't want to get in trouble because it's not worth it to her. But I like that she's not airheaded, she's not naive. She's quite witty, and you can tell that. At least that's how I want to portray her, is witty and smart, and yeah, that's kind of my idea.
What I like what Chris has done, he's taken it from certain authors. He's taken certain elements from different versions of the fairy tale, like the original French Perrault and the Grimm's brothers.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. We need to hear that. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7.
He liked, especially from the Grimm's brothers, that there was no fairy godmother. So the fates kind of take Cinderella on her journey, which is her mind. There's always a strong moral to fairy tales, and the moral is basically that the prince particularly, he's looking for someone who's going to love him for who he is and not because he's a prince. So that's the journey, and actually it's the person that was so kind to him then becomes the true love. You know, I loved fairy tales. I think it's the darkness in them. It's not just like all pretty. You know, I think that kind of dark journey they draw you into, I think that's really exciting for a child.
It is moody, and it is a dark story. I think he's reflective of more of the grim version of Cinderella, which does have. There is lots of sadness, I think, in the story of Cinderella.
Cinderella has a lot of forgiveness and a lot of gratitude, actually. So I found that really, actually inspiring to me as a person to do that part as this character, is that she is incredibly forgiving.